Hello, everyone. This is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for February 7th through the 13th of 2021. Now, last week I was traveling, so I didn't get to send out an email, but I was able to update the forecast and post it. And what happened was I forgot to grab a video. So the same video got used 2 weeks back to back, which I try not to do. So for those of you who caught it, my apologies. It won't happen often, only as needed. So this week I'm trying to get everything done early because I still have a pretty busy weekend. And we're still very much in the zone of the gate of power, which just happened yesterday from the day I'm recording on Thursday. This is the midpoint between winter and spring. So whatever it is that you do want to bring to life by April 1st, now is the time to kind of pick up the pace. So this week is Mercury and Venus and the moon, with one Mars for good measure, but all personal. So any time and space you can get for yourself this week is going to be time well spent because the Mercury retrograde is well underway in Aquarius. The week kicks off with its linking up with Sun, which is the renewal of the cycle. So one of the reminders you can keep in the back of your mind is anytime any planet retrogrades, it's renewing the cycle in a way. You know, the big collective planets do it annually. Jupiter and Saturn are social planets, they do it annually. But the personal planets, when they do it, they're resetting a cycle. So Mercury resets its cycle 3 to 4 times a year, every time it retrogrades. And when it does that, it has one hookup with the sun. So that's the initiation that we are looking for within ourselves, the individual, and how you communicate, express, take in information, and pour out information through your system. It's your system check. So you'll hear me repeat this over and over, giving you permission 3 to 4 times a year to do a data dump. Give your mental body a break, basically, and process your life consciously. Okay, that's also the link up with the sun. It's making us conscious of how we're thinking and the choices we're making and the ideas, thoughts, and concepts that are dominating our time and energy. So you've also heard me say if you're going to do the nosedive into doom and gloom, you've got to counterbalance it with equally positive blessings, because they're both happening and they're both going to continue to happen all year long on a pretty large and literal scale. Okay, so Saturn, planet of tradition and old school, is squaring off with Uranus, planet of liberation and awakening and freedom. So to the degree that we can be disciplined and responsible, that will equal the amount of freedom and latitude we have to move around. Some things are going to be within your power and some things are not. So the way I'm looking at it this year and the way I've kind of mentioned it already is every choice and decision you have to make, you need to ask yourself, is the proper response the old way or a completely new way? And then follow your gut. So for the beginning of the week with Mercury and Sun, it's making you really think about how you express and communicate. And so it's just a huge focus kicking off the week. And when I say we want to make sure it's reciprocated in two-way communication and exchange of ideas, that's on 2 levels that I don't really write out here in the paragraph. But the personal internal level is that the two-way communication is happening, that you actually stop and ask your higher self or your heart or your soul what they want to do, and then have that communication come back into your conscious mind for you to make a choice on. And then in the world, two-way communication and fair exchange, and that it's reciprocated, that when we turn the light on, not everybody's ready to get up. So this is the challenge right now. I have been also likening this to everyone in the house, with a house with 10 kids and a mom and dad and a couple of dogs and cats to throw in for good measure. When you all wake up at the same time and there's only 3 bathrooms, if you're lucky, some people only have 1 bathroom and 10 people. So it's a process of waking up. So let's not be frustrated with other people who aren't waking up or aren't awake or don't understand what you're trying to express, but get back into your truth and where you're at. And again, with self-preservation. Some people are just not ready yet for this next level of existence, and they're resisting every step of the way. And you don't want to be one of them, because you're initiating a whole new cycle of self-expression. You will have access to some really powerful energy that can and probably will help you make a difference or an impression on others if you need to. So this is a time when again, your consciousness and your mental is all lit up. But we're in a retrograde period. So there's a review process going on about what you would like to express and exchange going forward once Mercury's out of the zone, which is probably mid-March. So we're looking at equinox as being our first kind of opening for spring. And if we check in with ourselves 3 to 4 times a year, we realize that how we express, how we communicate, what's on our minds, what's really the central idea and focus of our lives in any given moment changes 3 to 4 times a year. So if we can roll with that consciously, it gets a lot easier to function. So these energies talk about a good time to travel if possible. We know that that's a little challenging with COVID these days, but it's mental travel. It's Mercury. It's your mind. It's your imagination opening up. So if you can't actually travel physically, then mentally or visualization is super supported with this one because it's an initiation. And so you're calling in how you want to express yourself for the next quarter, basically. What kind of ideas, thoughts, and concepts do you want to pursue over the next 3 months? But this energy always opens you up to a download of more information than usual. So you might have to take some notes. Pay attention. If you are solid and organized, you may even gain some much deserved recognition from others that you've earned through your individual efforts. So that's what it happens when the sun lights things up like this. So your ideas might be highlighted if you are, like it said, solid, organized, grounded in them. If you're still swirling and choosing ideas and you haven't really settled on anything, that's different. Then you're still in your process mode, right? And that was Monday the 8th. Then Tuesday the 9th is my Venus circle because the new moon is on the 11th, and I'm not sure yet, but I might be doing a new moon ceremony with Sister Shaman on Instagram Live that day. So for those of you who are into it, just sort of stay alert. If I'm going to do it, I'll throw up the promo on my story so that it shows up on my story on the 10th, which is Wednesday, so that we'll be there Thursday. But Tuesday is the Venus circle if you want to drop in. I usually try to do the Venus circle a week before the activation, but this month's activation is actually February 10th. So we're just getting together the day before. But it's happening in Aquarius. It's your crown chakra. So we're doing the release work in Aquarius and we're doing the clearing at the crown chakra. The gambler is our archetype and the skeleton woman is our story. This month we reset the connection to your thought body and crown chakra, clearing and releasing any blockages to your higher self, filtering everything first. You are clearing and releasing anything that blocks your own inner knowing from your conscious awareness and your ability to use or direct it properly. Okay, so that's so perfect on the heels of the Mercury retrograde activation with the sun. It's time to clarify where you've been, where you are, and where you'd like to go. As you are able to do that, you will also come upon that which must be cleared and released for the greater good so that your goals can actually be met. So all I can say is it's intense energy in the Aquarius department. So if you don't know which house that is for you, please reach out and email me directly, kelly@karmictools.com, and I'll get you your placements for free. That's not a problem. I want everyone to know where their stuff is, and most of you know that. The other thing is be mindful of the Leo and Taurus Scorpio houses because they're all related. Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio are part of the fixed family. And it's the parts of our chart where we are the most solid and where we hang on the longest and we work the hardest and we anchor things permanently or we release things permanently. And where we're at right now is heading toward the Aquarius new moon as well this week. So we have Venus there really close to the new moon. It's a powerful time to work consciously with your Aquarius house, whatever that is. Now, for me, it's my 3rd house across from Leo 9th house, which is writing and publishing. So I'm really deep into a creative process right now on a writer's quest with Heather Dakota. So I'm honoring the energies this way, right? So that's another suggestion. If you don't journal, maybe you want to start journaling. If you do journal, you might want to go back and review some things for the last couple of months and really clarify where you're at now so that you can ask for the new direction to be revealed with ease and grace and opened up to you with ease and grace. And like I said, this whole week is so personal. We go from the Mercury Sun individual to Venus, your values, priorities, your love and your money, your relationships and finances, to Mercury retrograde squaring Mars. Mercury only links up with the sun once, but it's going to link up with Mars 3 times over. This is the second one. It already hit it January 8th. February 10th this week is the second hit. The final hit is around equinox, March 23rd. So see what I mean? We're not going to be coming out of this process till a little bit after equinox. So that's why I said April 1st earlier, because it's still, we're processing what choices and actions we want to make. And all I can say is do your best during the retrograde to resist the temptation to act or commit or sign things and do things that, may have a different kind of road in mind for you. The trickster's a funny character in our lives, and that is the monkey mind as well. And sometimes we go off on tangents and think that we're heading toward our goal, but we're really off track. So the square is forcing us to look at something a little more closely. This activation can be tough for some. If your beliefs are out of alignment with your actions, if you are not self-aware or you act out unconsciously, being selfish or childish, then watch out, because squares test you to grow and change in some way. So you see, anyone that acts out unconsciously, anyone that's not self-aware, this is hard on. If you're self-aware and you're already working through things and you know about Mercury retrograde, you're going to be fine. But the idea is to review your choices and actions that you've made recently and that you have coming up in the near future. Often this also means that you are suppressing your own nature in some way, which is never really a good idea. When you suppress your soul, it can make your human more sensitive or defensive, taking things personally as a threat or challenge. See, Mars wants to act, but Mercury's in a review time right now. So it's uncomfortable, let's just say. We want to act, but we know it's not going to go the way we plan. So we're trying to be more clear. And that's where you kind of rise above the human 3D part of it and go to your higher self, go to your ancestors and angels and let them lead you during these times where your monkey mind is in the way and you're not clear. If you catch yourself feeling irritable for no apparent reason this week, try to step back and gain some perspective before responding to either your own thoughts or another person's words. Mercury and Mars getting together in this challenging way can provoke debates and, in some people, actual fights, so be careful. The deeper aspect of this activation is that some part of you wants to express, perhaps in a new way, and your monkey mind has got you all off track. Mars demands that you know who you are and what you want, and is the sacred masculine part of you, which is supposed to hold good boundaries, protect you, and negotiate on your own behalf in the world. If you know something that you're not acting on, this can be frustrating. If you're acting in ways that are not allowing you to think things through, this too can cause accidents, problems, and delays. It is best to pull in until you are clear, and also keep in mind you may not be the one out of alignment in the above ways, but those around you may be and will likely have no context for what they are feeling, and therefore become indiscriminate with their own choices and actions, which may affect you. Self-preservation is not selfish, but essential at this time. So that's a big one. And I would say in the larger context, it's, rethinking our choices for 2021 in light of what you have learned throughout 2020 that's informing your decisions and has kind of altered your path and has changed your direction in some way. So this review is really useful, y'all. It's not something to just kind of pass by or forget about. It's really good. And at the same time, look here, on the 11th, the new moon, Venus is going to have Jupiter there too. So this is the two benefactors initiating a new cycle. Jupiter hasn't been in Aquarius for 12 years. So again, Venus can bring this love and appreciation and value to your Aquarius house right now that's initiating something new that could possibly be relevant for 12 years to come. Or think 3, 6, 9, and 12, right? The Jupiter cycle. But on a personal level, Venus, your values, your priorities, whatever needs renewal in your Aquarius house, that Venus, the feminine, can come in, energize, and lighten up. And in that regard, with Jupiter there, it's such a powerful alignment. This is an extremely powerful energy that brings the two benefactors together to initiate a new cycle that makes you very mentally present to the fact that both your values and your truth are shifting. Yes. This energy encourages you to improve your life in some way, but in a bigger way than usual, y'all. This is bigger. You can also connect to material abundance and wealth of all kinds when these two get together like this. This is usually a pleasant shift because it's all about expanding your sense of authentic beauty, as in nature and the interrelatedness of all things. There's an energy of enthusiasm around new or growing relationships, which attracts more positive energy. This is the best time to be creative and expect miracles. There you go. So, new beginning for the truth and story, new beginning for your values and priorities, new beginning for aligning them together, right? So what's really important to you, we all learned that through 2020, where our values completely shifted and what used to be important is no longer important. And then if you really go back 12 years ago, think about 2009, what was happening for you in your Aquarius department then, and how can you do things better, or how can you expand on what worked beautifully and that just needs a new level of expression. Same day, our Aquarius new moon. So again, super personal week, y'all. If you can get a time out, take it. Because this month we are ready to seed completely new patterns and cycles of being an individual contributor to a larger community, whether that is your primary partnerships, family, neighborhood, community, or the world. Every year we use this time to laser away the non-essential and anything blocking the new vision for the year from taking root. Okay, so what's gorgeous about this is exactly 1 week and a day from our gate of power on the 3rd. So this is building on that new beginning and the new vision that we're sparking. We're asking to be inspired with the new vision for 21. What is this year going to be good for? What can we get out of this? What are we going to express and embody? And where does the heart factor in? Where does what you care about and what's precious to you matter? Don't let the monkey mind or the crazy, chaotic world that is on the cusp of old and new eras, okay? These are too big for our little 100 years on the planet to process, okay? These are 2,500 to 25,000 year cycles rebooting. We just happen to be awake and witnessing. So do your best to keep it personal and manageable, right? You, the individual, are equipped to manage you, the individual. Spirit did not equip you to run the world as a one single individual. Spirit created community, which brings us back to the Aquarius new moon. So calling in the humans you do want to work with, to function with, and live with for the rest of your days on the planet, which you know are numbered. My husband and I have been joking about the 30 maybe summers we have left. If you start counting like that, I'm 52. If I get to 82, that's 30 summers. So what would you like to do with the summers you have left? And then it gets you present to priorities. All of a sudden, certain little petty stuff don't matter no more, right? It's out the window. So we're releasing anything that's no longer in our hearts to do or to be part of or to express. We're releasing inauthenticity with last week's Leo full moon in preparation to see this very Aquarius new moon. So what is most important to you this year, 2021? Are you working on the new role that you want to play going forward at this new level of maturity and higher level of consciousness? And what kind of communities do you want to be a part of and contribute your energy to? Aquarius new moon is when you can dig into how your unique essence can contribute to humanity and the planet in some way. It's connecting your Leo heart and discerning what you most Taurus value and are willing to build or invest in so that you are stabilized and whole enough to channel your clean, authentic Scorpio power for the greater good of Aquarius all. See how all 4 of them are related. This month, my fixed babies are on deck. Aquarius is in an initiation. Leo's in an integration. Taurus, Scorpio are being pushed to grow and develop. December, January has led right to here and now. So it is good to do a little review of what new Sag truth and story is emerging and what new Capricorn structure foundation you are creating that will contain, nurture, and support your new Aquarian unique brilliance that wants to come through you, even if it is simply living more completely centered in your own authentic self and sharing that with others. Remember that the energy you're able to devote to your new moon intentions, which can be completely focused on your heart's desire, will energetically ripple out to bless the community and the world. The element associated with Aquarius is air, and we all need a little space to breathe in this completely new level of existence, which is calling us to upgrade the head and heart communication system on an individual level. So that's something else we have support for this week. as we renew our values, as we initiate a new story to tell, as we rethink our choices and actions and get more clear about who we are and what we want. All of that feeds into this week's energies and opportunities. So on the 13th, when Mercury retrograde conjuncts Venus, it's only going to do it once. Remember what I said, it's going to hit Mars 3 times, but Sun and Venus, Mercury only links up with once. So these are special initiations, and they're pretty much annual. Like Mercury and Venus get together all the time. But it's powerful and potent because Mercury's retrograde at the moment and because of the surrounding activations and the new moon and all that. This energy encourages you to see the divine order or the unifying theme running through the events of your life, good, bad, and indifferent, as well as past, present, and future. This is an initiation of new values around communication, self-expression, and the value of your ideas. You may finally be able to express ideas that have been percolating in your head. Some people may say, I love you at this time, because that's the connection to Venus and Mercury, communication, and articulate their feelings in deeper, more expressive ways. It's really juicy for your inner artist. This is the beginning of expressing your creative ideas in altogether new and different ways than ever before. Allow your imagination to free flow. Play with ideas with no attachment to outcome. Take advantage and explore all that this energy stirs within you, but don't give in to overthinking or overprocessing things. These connections are richer, giving you access to deeper personal growth and development through a new understanding of how all the events of your life work together for good, ultimately. You can see the necessity of certain challenges and clearly see your own personal mastery thus far. Celebrate and choose to create some new thought patterns that integrate and reflect more beauty throughout your life. So that's the other thing. With Mercury retrograde, we're reviewing what's important to us, what's valuable, what our priorities are mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. We're looking at it all. But Mercury, of course, brings in the mental. And so that brings us back to our ideas, thoughts, and concepts. And are they of beauty, harmony, essence, truth, fairness, justice, balance? Think Venus things, right? And Venus rules both Libra and Taurus. So we want to look at those issues. Are all up for review with Mercury and on how you express them personally as an individual. Our last activation for the week is just such the cherry on top, I got to tell you. Mars sextiling Neptune. This energy puts action behind your dreams. You can't ask for anything better than that. But the challenge is Mercury retrograde, making up your mind about what those actions and choices are. So for this one, I think it's more about creative exploration. Like the last one said, create, free flow, don't be attached to outcome. This is Mars stimulating your imagination in a big way. So it's a perfect time to reflect and dream about what you really want, and if the path you've chosen thus far still serves your ultimate goals. That's another check-in with the Aquarius gate, the midpoint between winter and spring. This information is trying to point you toward a more enlightened path than you have right now for manifesting your truth and purpose. It's also a good time to help others realize their dreams in a more tangible way. This energy is that of the volunteer, idealistic, and committed to change. Okay, we like that. And we need that for our individual selves. So charity begins at home. If you're solid and you have extra, by all means, share and spare. That's great. But if you are tapped out, like most of us are energetically drained from 2020 and still recouping our energy sources, even now, the second month into the new year, right? So do you without apology. You can communicate to those around you and let them know that you're growing and evolving and that things are changing and your priorities are changing and the way you want to express and exchange information is changing. And there's nothing wrong with that. You don't make it wrong, and then no one else will make you wrong either. So that's back to that authentic piece that Leo Aquarius stimulates. So see how the weave is super strong this week for personal evolution. So like I said at the beginning, take any time you can. Drop into the Venus circle if you want some extra support. Hopefully I'll have the space and time and energy to do the new moon thing with Sister Shaman. That would be really fun. We always have a good time, and the angels and ancestors and animal spirit guides always come through for us. But she's busy too, and getting us coordinated onto the same planet is always a challenge, but a fun challenge. So we're going to give it a shot. In the meantime, I hope you have a fantastic week and reach out if you need to. This is Kelly Beard of Karmic Tools signing off.